Yo, what's good, guys? Yes, I got my robe on. I'm on like super daddy duty right now because we had the baby, so I'm chilling. I just snuck out for a second to get some content to y'all. Now today I'm gonna be doing like an old school Q&A. I took to Instagram to ask you guys questions. Told you guys to submit some controversial ones, but of course it's always this camera versus this camera. So I decided to take the questions that I don't typically answer and answer those in today's video. Now today's video is gonna be sponsored by Squarespace. Y'all know what Squarespace is. Head over to squarespace.com/YCImaging to get 10% off your first purchase. I'm gonna leave a link down in the description, but we'll talk about them a little bit later in today's video. Now, man, let's get to these questions. First question is, do you feel like anything is holding you back from breaking into the big budget music video world? I think the only thing really holding me back is myself. I'm just not trying to pursue and go into that lane, but I think once I'm ready to go into it head on, I'll definitely be able to break into it. I mean, not to say this is gonna be easy or anything or to toot my own horn, but at the end of the day, I feel like anything in the world is possible if you work for it. So when I'm ready to do this, it'll happen. The next question is, what did you/do you do when it comes to having multiple video related incomes? My bad, that slash kind of threw me off a little bit. I know YouTube and music videos, but is there anything else? All right, so I'm gonna break down like my revenue streams for you guys in the simplest form. First thing, we got YouTube, obviously. I get paid through AdSense on YouTube. I shoot music videos, so that's another source of income. But beyond that, we got sponsorships. That's also through YouTube primarily. And we also have digital products, which is LUTS, guides, kits, all that stuff like that. So those are like the four main ways I get paid. Next question is, who is one person that you look up to as a filmmaker? It's a bunch. If I had to say one though, definitely Cooper Films. If y'all know who Cooper Films is, go check him out. He did the Fresh Prince reboots trailer. He also did You Shoot Videos, which is a phenomenal short film. If y'all shoot videos, obviously I'm assuming a bunch of you do, go check it out. It's one of the things that you must watch. It's gonna relate to you in some way. Definitely go check it out, but definitely Cooper Films, man. The next question is, bro, I love your podcast, but why do you curse so much? Yo, this is crazy. Like my last vlog, I got like a bunch of comments. I got more comments than I've ever seen on my YouTube videos talking about me cursing and cussing. To be completely honest, man, I cuss like a sailor, man. When I'm talking to my friends, when I'm talking to my family behind closed doors, I just cuss, yo. I don't know what it is. That's just really me. Y'all typically don't hear it on my YouTube videos though, because a lot of like my content where I'm actually talking about a topic is very scripted. So I know for the most part what I'm gonna say before I even get on camera. But with vlogs, it's a lot more raw. It's a lot more, straight out of my mind and into you guys' ears. But reading through a couple of the comments, man, I'm gonna tone it down a little bit. I didn't realize how many of my viewers watch my content with their family or with their kids. And when I thought about that, I was like, dang, I'm kind of restricting a lot of people from being able to watch the content confidently, knowing that I'm not gonna be, swearing around their grandmother or around their 2-year-old children and stuff like that. So I'm gonna tone it down. But if I get those F-bombs off, man, I'm gonna make sure to, bleep them out. That way it's a lot less harsh on some of you guys' ears. But ironically, a lot of y'all loved it. I don't know, that's just me though, man. I cuss a lot, but I'm gonna tone it down. Man. I've been trying to for a long time. The next question is, how are you feeling? I'm feeling phenomenal, man. We just had the baby a couple days ago. Incredible, amazing experience. Women are freaking amazing. Their bodies, their pain tolerance, what they go through, it's just amazing, man. I'm feeling good though. Thank you for asking. I hope y'all are feeling good too. The next question is, have you and Ryan had problems before? If yeah, how did y'all handle it? This is a really interesting question. To answer this, yes, we have definitely had problems before. We had problems, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but I was trying to film this course and I had to kick him and Tino, my brother Chaos, and them out the studio because they was ticking me off a little bit. But yeah, man, we have problems all the time. We have disagreements, but at the end of the day, I think it's just all about understanding that not everybody views things the same way you view things. You know what I mean? It's just all about getting your ideas and your thoughts and your feelings out there. And if they're your real friends, they're your real homies, they're gonna deal with that, they're gonna process it, they're gonna shoot some fire back at you, and y'all just gonna go from there. That is what it is. I feel like that's what really bonds people into realistic friendships. The next question is, when do you think the saying gear doesn't matter stops being true? This is a really interesting question. I look at it like this. I think that this stops being true once you've actually put it into action. once you've actually went through and you didn't let not having the gear stop you from creating something amazing, then it just unlocks so much potential for when you do have access to the gear that will make things more amazing. I think that this statement stands just so people who don't have access to really good gear don't let it stop them from creating at all. So I think once you've gone through this phase and you understand that this is really true, then it really doesn't matter because it just unlocks so much potential to you, you know? The next question is, I wanna know why it's so easy in LA to get on set to gain exposure with people, but in Atlanta, people act like it's a secret society. It's the hardest thing to do. You can't even come do BTS. I don't know, bro. Like, I don't have a million sets going on here in Atlanta. I also don't reach out to many directors to go on their sets. So this is something that I don't really know the answer to. As a director, who's someone who has had people want to come be on sets and has had people come be on sets who aren't necessary on sets, it really just complicates the process. The more people there, the more anxiety you have, the more moving parts there that you just don't need. So I think from that aspect, it might make sense, but I don't really have a problem with people being on set. But if it was up to me, I would rather not have people there on set, especially if they're not helping. It's cool if you go in there to help, you going to do BTS, I guess that could be a helpful thing. But from the director standpoint of somebody who is doing a project, the more people there, the more anxiety, the more moving parts, it just becomes more of a headache. So maybe that's why, but I really don't know. The next question is, do you find yourself watching movies and TV shows with a different eye? Like editing sequence and techniques instead of watching the movie? Yes, absolutely. And I have to always remind myself to go back to just being a viewer. I sit and analyze like, oh, what lens did they shoot this on? Dang, this is color graded really good, or I really like this angle. I think it's beneficial to definitely dissect certain things that you like, but I think it might be healthy for you to do that the second time around. Like watch a movie a second time just to analyze the cinematography aspects of it. But to answer your question, definitely. I think pretty much anybody who does any sort of video work is watching something from cinematographer standpoint. The next question is, what advice would you give yourself 5 years ago? Thanks for the video, man. Love watching. Y'all appreciate that, man. I think the biggest advice that I would give myself 5 years ago is to start documenting. Start documenting right now. Start getting every single set filmed. Start getting every single set photographed. Start documenting as much as you can. Document the process. Talk about how you're feeling at that time. I think things like this, the documentation process of it, really makes you feel like you're moving forward. And it's always cool to be able to look back on your journey in your career. And the next thing that I would probably tell myself 5 years ago is to save money. Save as much money as possible. Don't worry about the latest and upcoming cameras. Don't worry about the latest lenses, gimbal, stabilizers. 5 years ago, I would have definitely told myself to save money because I've spent a lot of money on things that I don't really need. The next question is, what's one part of your workflow you wish you could have been doing since day one? Hands down, organization. I remember when I used to edit down projects, I would literally just funnel every single clip into a timeline for a music video and line it up on beat and just stack everything on top of each other and then just cut out the pieces that I don't want. And then my ending timeline would just look like a Tetris board. Organization definitely has sped up my workflow. It makes it a lot easier for me to edit. Definitely organization. If you don't organize your timelines and your bins and your sequences and your B-roll and all that stuff like that, definitely start doing it. It'll help you out a ton. Now, before I get into the next question, I want to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Squarespace. Now, there was a bunch of questions and people asking me questions about, bruh, how do you make the majority of your money? And to be completely honest with you guys, I sell a lot of digital presets. And Squarespace is a place to start an online store, so you can also start selling digital presets as well. Squarespace not only has online stores, they have blogs, portfolios. It's just a really dope place if you're trying to create a website for your online branding. The templates are all in one, so it's super easy to use. And if you ever find yourself in a jam where you're creating a website, they have award-winning customer support. So if you hit them up in the chat, they'll hit you right back. All you guys that are just chilling right now watching my video, you might as well head over to squarespace.com right now and start your free trial. And you can also head over to squarespace.com/YCImaging to get 10% off your first purchase. Link will be down in the description. The next question is, when you first started off, what was your metric of having made it? Was it a certain dollar amount for projects, paying bills, moving to a new city, etc.? I love your work. It helped me shoot my first music video. You're the best, man. Y'all really appreciate that. Now, a lot of y'all gonna think I'm funny or I'm tripping or like I'm a clown or something, but I remember back when I first started filming, the ultimate trophy to have at that time was like a 5D Mark III, either a 5D Mark III or either a L series Canon lens. And if you had either one of those two things, you was like a big shot. You was actually doing it. You was that dude. So when I got my first L series lens, I bragged about it. I thought it was cool as hell. I wish I still had my old Twitter. I used to be like talking stuff on there about my first L series lens. It was the 17-40 f4. I got it off eBay for like $400. But when I got it, I thought like, yo, I'm Colin Tilley status now. But as funny as that sounds, yeah, it was having an L series lens and having a 5D Mark III. That was like the ultimate goal. Like, okay, I'm king status. You know what I mean? So the good old days, the good old days. The next question is, what steps/process do you go through to try to consistently make your work reflect your originality and style and not a copy of someone else? This is a really, really, really good question. For me, I reference a lot of things before I go into a project that I'm gonna be heavily doing research on and heavy planning for. And I don't think that that's anything wrong. I don't think it's anything wrong with that. It's cool to have a mood board, a vision board of shots and certain angles and composition choices and color choices that you might potentially want this project that you're about to start working on to look like. I think that's cool as hell. I think it's smart. I think that that's the way to go if you're doing anything. But for me, the way I keep my originality is once I'm in that editing bay, once I'm in post, I don't look at anything. You can shoot as many things as you want. Like if I gave every single one of us watching this video the exact same bin full of footage and B-roll, we're all gonna put it together differently. You know what I mean? That's what's really gonna mark our originality, our style, our choice in creating a project in the editing bay, you know? So for me, once I'm in the editing process, I don't look at anything else. I'm not going to reference anything unless it's a color grade. I do reference color grades in the editing process, but beyond that, I don't reference edited choices, effects, sound design, any of that. It's just whatever I think of in the editing is what it will be, and that's how I keep my originality when it comes to that. The next question is, what topics would you say are worth covering when starting a YouTube channel? What would you say is the biggest hurdle to overcome when starting a YouTube channel? Good question. I think topics worth covering when first starting a YouTube channel are things that you know. And it doesn't have to be super technically sound. You don't have to be the best person to present a tutorial to anybody, but if you know about something, teach it. You are well-knowledged in this, my bad, I had to burp. You are well-knowledged in this realm of whatever it is. Maybe you're good at effects, maybe you're solid at color grading, or maybe you're decent at shooting, but you don't know how to intellectually express that to a viewer. It doesn't really matter how you express it to them, as long as it looks good. If something looks good, people are down to sit and learn it. So, make it evident that you're not a professional, that you're not the best at it. Just show like, this is the way I do it. And I think that those are the things that you should definitely cover when you're first starting a YouTube channel. Now, I think the biggest thing to overcome when starting a YouTube channel is just yourself overthinking the process, overthinking the videos that you're making, overthinking the route that you're on. I see a lot of people, they start YouTube or they start a journey and they see that it's not taking off as fast as they thought it was. So then they go and try to do it another way. And it's just like, okay, maybe this was working. It's just a slow grind. You know what I mean? As long as you're constantly working, you're always gonna go uphill. You know what I mean? You don't have to switch the way that you're making something because you think that it's not working. Sometimes things just don't go straight up in the air instantly, you know? So stay on your course, talk about what you know, and document the process so you learn and other things as well. I think that that's really cool for people to see. People like to see journeys. It's really cool to see somebody go from the bottom to the top and viewers get connected to people on that level. So keep that in mind. And the last question is baby names. We named the baby Weston. I got a really thoughtful and insightful and compassionate and loving project coming soon, a little film about baby Weston. So be on the lookout for that. Yeah, that's it, man. Make sure to drop it a like. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. I make videos about creating video content. So if you're into that, hit the subscribe button. I'm out, guys. Peace.